Hey guys, GreenWolfyVillager here. Since this channel just very recently hit 5,000 subscribers, I decided to celebrate it with our very first QnA, short for questions and answers. In this video, I'll be answering all the questions you guys asked me on the QnA announcement video. So sit back and enjoy. SidePlays Roblox for Real asks, why did you start your career on YouTube? I just kind of wanted to make videos. It's not really anything complex probably, but I didn't make these, stats videos that I make now, I first started by making gameplays of games on the game making app, Game Creator. It's kind of like a really simple, app where you make games, really simple, no coding required, When I was 8 years old at that time, it was perfect for me. I really enjoyed it, so I just made gameplays of some of the games there, recordings. I put it on the channel. I also made some of my own games, little games on there, so I also made, videos of that on the channel at first too. But of course now, I make stats videos. I enjoy it. Abdul Rahman KSA7 asks, what was your dream when you were little? Honestly, like I probably said, it was always to be a YouTuber, it was always to, be a famous YouTuber, make videos. It was always my dream career, in the future, as a kid. It was always to be a YouTuber. I don't think I had any other dream jobs, dream careers. I didn't really have any other, as far as I remember at least. It was always to be a YouTuber. SolarChat asks, do you think you'll quit this channel? I honestly think definitely not, at least not anytime soon, I currently enjoy making videos, I really do enjoy it. Sometimes it maybe gets kind of tiring, really just kind of tiring or boring sometimes, I'm too lazy to, finish a stats video, I'm too lazy to finish it, I want to do other things or, just rest, I don't really have a good sleep schedule, so I'm kind of lazy and tired a lot, I'm just kind of a lazy person, so I just kind of, but I don't really want to quit YouTube, definitely not in the next 5 years, definitely, hopefully not, I don't think so. I like it, and I'm monetized, so it brings me some good money as well, so, it's cool. I like the channel, I like making videos, and I like you guys, of course, I really do appreciate you watching my videos, and I really do, I promise so. Mavico YT asks, how do you make the charts? I use Flourish to make the bar chart race animations, these stat animations, bar graphs. I use Flourish. The full URL is app.flourish.studio. It's really actually pretty simple. You don't need any coding at all as well. So it's also really good, really simple, I would say. Very nice, definitely good for starters. They're you can code to make better bar graph animations, but I'm too lazy to make it right now. I don't really want to. I think what I currently use, Flourish, I think it's fine right now. Yeah. A real job application for you. And Jose Cruz asks, where do you get the statistics from? How did you find statistics? Well, it kind of depends exactly on what video, what topic I'm making, what bar chart race topic I'm making. But usually, when I make, YouTube stats videos, for YouTube channels, YouTubers, those sub counts, view counts, it's usually Social Blade and then Wayback Machine, web.archive.org for the historical data, historical snapshots of the youtube.com URLs and also Social Blade URLs too. A portion of it is also Tracklytics too. Pretty nice. As for Roblox statistics, like, when I make those videos on Roblox games, like the monthly visits, peak player count, is mostly raw amounts, but some Wayback Machine as well. So, nice. I am crafting UTH Poo. I'm sorry, but what is this username? Anyway, asks, why all of the stats of your video don't contain milestones after hitting like 1 million, 10 million, and 100 million boosts after hitting those? I don't exactly 100% know what you mean by that, but I suppose it's like one of, like if YouTube like hits, like 10 million, then like at some part, like corner of the video, there's text like, blank hits 10 million subscribers, like I did actually use that on some videos. I do sometimes do that, like, but only on like, like the videos like completely only focused on sub counts of a certain YouTuber, like, Mr. Beast, 400 million sub count, like for all the big milestone he hit in the video, in the stats video. It's like text at the corner of like bottom or right corner of the video, like Mr. Beast hits 10 million subscribers, like it shows that at that moment when he hit that. Then I did that. I do that in some videos sometimes. I did that a few times, but mostly like I think it's pretty unnecessary. I feel like it's not really exactly needed. When I do those sometimes, like it takes like a lot of time sometimes, like when it takes just unnecessary time, I feel like so I don't really usually do that. I prefer not to. I'm sorry, but I don't really know. Okay. Edoverchiak117 asks, how did you get the idea to start making Baldi's Basics mods? Why did you enjoy doing it? Honestly, of course I was a fan of Baldi's Basics, of course. I was a big fan of it, like a lot actually. In the years of 2018, the release to like 2021, 22, or kind of like 2024, until I like stopped making the, Baldi's Basics mods completely. Like because I was a big fan of Baldi's Basics, and I saw a lot of videos of like, Baldi's Basics mods, like other people's Baldi's Basics mods. I really enjoyed those, videos, so like watching those and playing some too. So, I just decided to make my own Baldi's Basics mods too. First, it was actually on the games. It was on a FPS Maker app. It was kind of like Game Creator, but 3D instead of 2D. So it was better for Baldi's Basics games, like making those, like emulating those, recreating. Then I switched to actually making them like Baldi's Basics mods, like in Unity, like reskinning Baldi's Basics. Actually, like in 2021, I decided to remaster the entire series. Like, it was called Wolfy's Basics, and if I didn't mention, I decided to do that, and I'm proud of it. Some YouTubers made videos on the new, like on the remastered series on Baldi's Basics mods, the remastered series. Like Media Games Guide, my favorite Baldi's Basics YouTuber, probably The Frustrated Gamer, which I was a fan of a few years ago. Also made a video actually playing the first chapter of the remastered, like the remastered first chapter actually. Actually it was really cool. I was so happy when I made that. I'm just proud of the entire series, Basically, I like Baldi's Basics, and I saw some videos on the mods, so I decided to like make my own games, my own mods, basically, and it did well. I'm proud of it. Bizbus Games and Muhammad KSA asked, what is your favorite YouTube channel? Honestly, like, it's actually pretty, I would say that's pretty hard for me, like, to, guess, like, say, like, exactly, like, number one, which is my exact, like, what is exactly my favorite YouTube channel, my favorite YouTuber. That's actually hard. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube channels, like, interchangeably, always, I watch so many different, it's really hard to say, like, which one I like the most. I feel number one could maybe be, or like one of the number one, that is really memorable for me, that I watch always, and like the, like the person. I think it's probably Penguin Zero, Moist Critical. I really enjoy his commentary, it's pretty funny. When I was watch it, mostly when I'm working on a video, like as a background, but I listen to the video actually. I don't really play it as just background noise, but I actually listen to the videos. I was actually really enjoy listening to them, and I, like him as a person. I didn't like ever meet him. I'm not from the US, but I think he's a cool guy. So he's definitely one of my most favorite YouTubers. But I already couldn't decide like which one is number one for me. I could not. Astro Americans asks, what country are you from and do you like it? I am from Czechia, or the Czech Republic, whatever you want to call it. And yes, culture 123, your assumptions were right, you're right. And for the most part, I would say I like it. It's not really much of a bad country, but I just don't like the people much, like generally like the Czech people, They're kind of like, we Czechs are kind of like, pretty, I don't know how to exactly say it, like kind of, cold, like just kind of unfriendly, I would say, kind of like, we don't really, Czechs don't really smile much, and they're kind of like, they can really be like unfriendly, like not really nice, I guess, like, it's, we're kind of like more honest, but I don't really still like it much, I kind of like, I just don't really like it, And the second thing, I don't really like the climate much, like the weather, the temperatures, like they're kind of fine. It could be worse, like in the summer, it's pretty warm, like hot, sunny in the summer. I like it, but in the spring too, it's fine. But like in the autumn, kind of like late autumn and winter, for the most part, I don't really like it. Of course, it's not really sunny much. Like there's not much sunshine, of course, which is kind of depressing. It's boring, of course. I think anybody can agree on that, like, at least me personally, like, for me personally, like, everything just looks better at sunshine, in the summer, like, anything, honestly. And the temperatures, in the winter, they can get pretty bad, like, pretty miserable. Just in this year, in February, at the start of this year, in February, we had as low as -11. Here in my city, -11 Celsius, and I'm just really way more of I'm just kind of like a summer person, summer is my favorite season, there are mosquitoes, wasps, like annoying insects, it can get pretty like hot, like way too hot sometimes, but honestly it's still my favorite season, like summer, and late spring, like the warm and sunny temperatures, warm temperatures, sunshine. That's just my favorite time of the year, personally. Like, there's some good things about winter, like, Christmas, of course, some snow, and the night can look pretty nice often, but that's also what I really don't like. In winter, it gets dark like at 5 p.m, like 16:30, it's already pitch black, so that I really also don't like that much, or I'm still mostly like, sunlight, like daylight, you know. Yeah, sorry, kind of like got a little side tangent here, like I delved a little too deep, you know, like too long, but in short, like for the most part, I like Czechia, but some parts I don't really like about like some aspects. Honestly, I would like to move to a different country, like any country, you know, like in adulthood, you know. So, Miss Blood, he asks, favorite country? Honestly, if we're not, you know, like counting Czechia, you know, like if we probably should exclude my country Czechia, you know, that's probably like, you know, obvious, like this might be the favorite country for most people, maybe even me still, but if we're not counting my country, I would say probably Italy. I'm not exactly sure, but probably Italy, you know, I like it. It's got good temperatures, obviously it's way down south, so it's got way better temperatures, like I said in the previous question answer. I really like warm temperatures once again, and also I really like the, you know, architecture pretty good, like a lot of the villages I've seen on the internet, like all of the cities and villages and places I've seen on the internet, like the pictures, you know, it looks beautiful, like even the countryside, like, you know, it looks, all of Italy is probably beautiful, like most parts of Italy I really love to visit, honestly, you know. I would really honestly love to visit Italy again after like 2 years, you know. Especially, you know, I was in Sardinia 2 years ago. It was really beautiful. Sardinia was really beautiful, you know. So I could visit again. But most definitely, I would most love to visit Sicily and Campania, which is basically like the Naples area, you know, like the Naples city and the Naples region, you know. Both I haven't visited yet in my life, as far as I know. I've asked both of my parents. I've never been in Sicily or the Naples area, you know, like basically South Italy in general, most of it, you know. I would really love to visit, like, especially both of those two regions, you know, Sicily, Naples, you know, Campania. I would love to, like, it looks really beautiful there. Both the cities, you know, and the countryside looks so beautiful, you know, definitely. And I honestly, also, I really like the Sicilian and Sardinian languages. They sound pretty cool to me, honestly, like, you know, so I really love Italy a lot. Honestly, I would really love to visit Italy, you know, it's really beautiful. I would love to visit it. Honestly, even move to Italy, like I said in the previous answer, you know, like in a few years when I become an adult, I would love to probably move to Italy or, you know, some other like Mediterranean country from Czechia, you know, like better temperatures, you know, friendly people for sure, friendly people, definitely, and probably like live in, you know, I guess also Sicily or maybe Sardinia, but those are kind of apparently like poor regions, you know. If my YouTube career like didn't take off, you know, like become really popular within the within the next few years, you know, to like have a decent like living wage off of it, then, you know, like the wages in like South Italy are pretty low, so at the worst I could move maybe like somewhere to the north, you know, like definitely some nice regions, you know, Tuscany or Liguria, no, Genova, like also look pretty nice, honestly. So I could maybe live there, like, you know, I would live like in like probably any region of maybe or some other country, you know. Maybe also like, you know, I'm kind of also interested in the United States, kind of like, you know, it's also very beautiful. Obviously, it's you know, America. I don't think I need to explain it really. Like, I would especially love to visit the South US. You know, like, you know, California. You know, Los Angeles. You know, like maybe some Texas too. Like New Mexico maybe looks pretty cool, maybe. But, you know, generally like the South. You know, the deserts, warm climate. like of the US, I would love to really visit there, like, you know, in a few years or whenever when I just can. I would love to visit there too. Maybe move there if I become, like, you know, really rich or off of YouTube or something, you know, like very rich, you know, because the US is kind of like got a higher, you know, cost of living is way more expensive, so, you know, for now I would just like to visit there, but I could move there too, maybe. It's probably not ideal, but maybe I could, honestly. US doesn't seem too bad. I could, you know, either move to Italy or US. I really like both countries. Probably number 1 and number 2 most favorite, except, you know, outside of Czech, you know. Very nice. Curiosidades do Thiago, I hope I said that right, asks, who is your favorite football/soccer player? Well, I don't really, honestly, I'm not really into sports generally, especially not, you know, football. I don't really like football. I don't hate on it, of course. I don't mind, but I'm not really into sports. Like, I'm not a fan of, you know, it's just kind of boring for me. It would be really boring, you know. I don't really like that stuff much. Like, personally, I'm not interested in it. You know, definitely not football as well, but if I had to, like, or, like, you know, maybe, you know, I think Ronaldo's the GOAT, of course. Ronaldo's the GOAT. Kosager22L asks, what's your dog's name? Actually, I don't have a dog, actually. I don't have my own dog, and I never had, actually. I never had, but technically, like, if we, like, expand it a little bit further, like, my grandpa and grandma, you know, my grandparents have a dog named Aisha, you know, female, you know, and whenever I visit them, you know, whenever I visit my grandpa, you know, I always kind of take care of her, you know, better, of course. She knows me, you know, of course, she knows me a lot, you know, obviously for her entire life, you know, of course. So whenever I visit, like, whenever I'm with her, of course, it's alright. So she's kind of my dog too, I would say, kind of. So I guess that kind of counts, you know. I kind of technically have one dog, kind of, you know, named Aisha. Leo Scottery 2546 asks, have you played Steal a Brainrot of Roblox? Be honest. Don't worry, I will be honest. And honestly, you know, I haven't played it at all. Not one time. I haven't really played it, of course. Nothing personal, please, but of course. But I did play Grow a Garden. I did play it, like, I did try Grow a Garden a couple times. I did play it a couple times when it was just beginning to grow. You know, like May, I think, like May or June of 2025. I think like April, May of this year. So I did try it a couple times, like Grow a Garden, but it got, you know, it got soon, you know, boring and repetitive, you know, even when it was still in its peak prime, you know, like popularity. And I really just tried it because of my friends, you know, like I just played it with them, you know, for a couple days or like a week or two, and then you know, nothing. So I didn't really even then bother to, like, you know, at least try steal a Brainrot, you know. I didn't really want to, but I watched some videos of Greycraft and Flamingo, you know, playing the game, you know, Steal Brainrot. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, you know. I enjoy watching those videos, like, but it's just a couple, you know, when they did that, like, uploaded some. You know, I haven't really tried. I'm definitely not a big fan of Grow a Garden or Steal a Brainrot, you know, of course, personally, but, you know, it wasn't so bad. It's definitely not bad games. I don't have anything bad against them, you know, or any of you fans, you know, that play it. It's okay. Roblox Gamer Dean asks, if you can, could you please make a video about simulating Grow a Garden's history every minute or hour? It would be really cool. I agree. It would be cool, but honestly, I'm sorry, really, but I definitely will not do it, especially now, you know, that's kind of like falling off in popularity, you know, I won't do it because every minute for every minute, like, that's too much, like, too complex for me. Like, once again, like I said, I think I'm just kind of lazy. I'm pretty lazy. I wouldn't be able to do that. The most I do is daily, I did that, I think, recently. Like, I could maybe do that, but I don't really know. I'm sorry, probably not. But honestly, you should ask that. Like, you should request that video to Ed's Amazing. Really cool guy. He does those videos like every minute, every hour, like Roblox videos. Roblox stats. He does those, and actually, he did that exact video idea you suggested. Like, I think it was like a few months ago, in like June, I think, like when I checked, so he did that when it was just still kind of rising, so it would actually be really cool to make an update if he did an update on that. So actually, it's amazing, should do that one. I think it would be cool to have an update, but it's amazing will do it. But definitely not me, it's up to him, definitely. It'll be cool. GenQB3MI asks, when will you make most visited games in a single month, 2018 to 2025? I just did that just last month, or 2 months ago, in August I did that, but only from 2019 though. I did that, but from just 2 months ago, but from 2019, so... But I could honestly maybe do that next year, from 2018 or maybe 2017, 16. Like, there's some history going back from that, maybe to 2016 or sooner. Maybe I could do that last year, like, next year. That'd actually be pretty cool. But this year, I usually do yearly updates every year. So this year, not anymore. I'm sorry, but next year, that actually could be I will consider it. I could do it. Stay tuned. Mui180 asks, will you ever do a most popular Dead Rails YouTubers of the future? Honestly, once again, I'm sorry. Of course, nothing personal, but probably, most likely not. I could have done it, honestly, like when it was still popular. I think like also May or June or July 2025, Dead Rails was most popular. I could have done that, It could be a good popular video idea. I could have done that, but right now, I'm probably not. I'm sorry, but I could do some on some other Roblox games that are popular right now. It could be in the future, like any new popular Roblox games, that are really popular, like, probably 99 Nights in Forest, it's, I think, like number 2 right now, so I could actually make on that pretty soon, maybe. But yeah. And that's all the questions answered. Alright, if we get like, we could do another Q&A maybe sometime soon, like at, 10,000 subscribers, that'll be like in like a year or two, so at 10,000 subscribers, we could maybe do another Q&A, honestly. It was actually pretty fun to do, pretty cool. I delayed it by like two months right now, I released that announcement video in July of this year, in July, so almost 3 months ago. It's the start of October now. I'm just making this video, this voiceover. I think like the editing, and it'll be over soon. Like, it'll be, it's uploaded now. You're watching it, of course, but yeah, sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay. I'm really sorry, but it's here now, and I hope you at least still enjoyed it despite the delay. I hope you still liked it. I definitely did, personally. So until the next video or the next Q&A, see you next time.